We are living through a brutal paradox of history. While global GDP indicators decline, while industrial giants lay off tens of thousands of workers, and while traditional retail stores shut down due to lack of customers, revenues from online game streaming platforms and short-form video platforms are reaching historic highs. Between 2023 and 2024, as the world struggled with inflation and the shadow of recession, the average time a person spent on their smartphone screen reached nearly 7 hours per day. In many developing countries, where youth unemployment has reached alarming levels, we are witnessing a strange scene. Young people without jobs sit in cramped rented rooms, yet in their hands are the newest smartphones, fully immersed in virtual battles or 15-second dance videos. This is not relaxation. This is a mass migration, a collective escape from a collapsing reality. When the wallet is empty, the human brain does not choose to confront the truth. It chooses to shut down reality and boot up a simulated operating system. The blue light from the screen does more than illuminate their faces. It slowly drains the last rays of hope for real change, replacing them with digital anesthesia. We are witnessing the rise of an economy built on frustration. An economy where your pain becomes the fuel that powers the entertainment machine. Welcome to the flat world, where truths exist that society does not want you to know. The dopamine weak point. When hunger is replaced by illusion. Why are so many people willing to spend thousands of dollars on online streaming platforms? Why does an unemployed student feel emotionally healed by watching videos about slow, peaceful rural life in places they have never visited? The answer lies in a vulnerable point in the human brain: dopamine. In a state of stagnation, the human brain becomes starved for rewards. When real life offers no advancement, no money, and no recognition, the brain sends out a distress signal. The entertainment economy appears like a clever drug dealer. It knows it does not need to give you bread, it only needs to give you the feeling that you are eating bread. This is the key point. Modern entertainment has transformed from a reward after work into a substitute for real success. When you win a video game match, your brain releases chemicals similar to those released when you receive a financial bonus. When your short video gets 1,000 likes, your ego is stroked in the same way a boss praising your work would feel. The irony of slow-living content. Let us examine the phenomenon of psychological podcasts and slow-living videos. This is the peak of economic irony. Young people living in crowded cities and struggling with rising living costs are the main consumers of content about leaving the city to farm, grow vegetables, or raise fish. These videos provide a space of illusion. Viewers do not necessarily want to farm. They simply want temporary relief from the pressure of reality by experiencing someone else's life. The lying flat generation. In China, the rise of the lying flat movement coincided with an explosion of passive entertainment. Young people realized that working the brutal 9-9-6 schedule, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., 6 days a week, still could not buy them a house or a car. So they withdrew into the virtual world. Game live stream platforms recorded explosive growth in viewing time among unemployed young men. Interestingly, they are not playing the games. They are watching others play. Why? Because in those communities, they find a simulated sense of belonging. A simple greeting from a streamer after they send a small virtual gift makes them feel that they still exist and still matter. Meanwhile, real society has already erased them from the list of the successful. Entertainment here acts as a shock absorber. Without it, anger would erupt. But with it, people are trapped in a semi-conscious state, satisfied enough not to revolt, but exhausted enough to never rise. The global loneliness crisis. Psychological reports from 2025 show that over 60% of adults in major cities feel emotionally isolated and disconnected. This has led to a 12.3% increase in screen time compared to previous years. In South Korea and Japan, where single-person households account for 36% to over 50% of all households in cities like Seoul and Tokyo, passive entertainment has become a form of survival. The trend of mukbang live streams is not about food. It is about the feeling of eating with someone. Loneliness is no longer concentrated among the elderly. Generation Z, people aged 18 to 24, the so-called digitally connected generation, report the highest levels of loneliness. In the United States, an APA survey in late 2025 found that nearly 70% of people needed more emotional support than they were receiving. Entertainment becomes the buffer zone. Instead of protesting in the streets or trying to change the system, people remain sedated, satisfied enough not to revolt, but too exhausted to stand up. The dark side of dopamine. Dopamine from entertainment is like loan shark credit. You borrow happiness from the future to spend in the present. And the interest rate is paralysis of willpower. The more entertainment you consume to escape stagnation, the more you lose the ability to endure the hardship needed to solve it. This creates a tightening loop. Stagnation to entertainment. Entertainment to laziness. Laziness to deeper stagnation. This system was not designed to help you overcome pain. It was designed to turn pain into a stable addiction. The weaponization of emotions. Do not mistake the explosion of healing platforms and live streaming as a natural market evolution. This is a calculated offensive. Technology corporations and global capital have weaponized loneliness and fear. Capital is the coldest entity on Earth. It has no borders, no morality, and an extremely sharp instinct for profit. As traditional industries like manufacturing and agriculture reached saturation and political risks increased, global capital discovered a new blue ocean: the psychological weak points of human beings. From steel to emotions. Consider the difference between a steel factory and a digital entertainment company. Building a steel factory requires hundreds of millions of dollars, thousands of workers, strict environmental regulations, and decades-long economic cycles. Profit margins often sit between 5 to 10%. But AI companion apps, or virtual partner platforms, require only a small engineering team and servers. Once the algorithm is built, serving one user or 1 million users costs almost nothing. Yet the value they extract is infinite. Loneliness. The attention economy. Capital today is no longer fascinated with production. It is investing in attention leverage. An influencer with 10 million followers may be valued higher than an electronics manufacturing plant with stable revenue. Because in the future, whoever controls the gateway to human attention controls consumer spending. The war for your attention. The brightest minds of humanity, mathematicians, psychologists, software engineers, are no longer primarily solving climate change or curing cancer. Many are being paid millions of dollars to figure out how to keep you on a screen 5 minutes longer. And then 5 minutes more. Capital has decided that your addiction is more profitable than your well-being. The rise of virtual companions. According to market reports in early 2026, the AI companion industry is expected to explode. It may reach $140 billion by 2030, $550 billion by 2035. With annual growth rates around 31%, The virtual pet and social robot industry is expected to exceed $427 billion by 2032. Humans are gradually replacing costly social relationships with paid services that demand no responsibility. The social pressure valve. On a macro scale, the entertainment economy acts as a pressure valve for global social stability. Imagine millions of unemployed young people without TikTok, video games, or Netflix. Anger would accumulate. Eventually, people would question fairness, social structures, and those in power. Such anger historically leads to protests, political upheaval, and the collapse of institutions. Entertainment acts as the modern version of bread and circuses. Instead of solving unemployment or inequality, the system simply provides cheap sedation. The new divide. We are approaching a deeply polarized future. One side is the majority, living inside a comfortable entertainment matrix, where psychological needs are satisfied digitally, but they become debtors of time and slaves of willpower. On the other side is a small group of awakened individuals who own and operate the machines that create the illusion. This new world order is not divided by geography. It is divided by awareness. Those who cannot control their thumb on their smartphone screen will forever become the fuel for someone else's wealth. The final question. Ask yourself one final question. Where are you sitting on this chessboard? Are you a player, or are you a piece? Are you using entertainment to recharge for real battles in life? Or are you using it to bury your failures and dreams? Sometimes the entertainment economy is not a painkiller. It is anesthesia. So the surgery that steals your future can happen quietly. The world never owed you an easy life. Those glowing screens do not care about your pain. They only care whether you keep looking at them. The new order has already been established. Either you wake up and confront reality, or you remain asleep in the glowing dream. The price of awakening is pain, but the price of escape is your entire life. Hope you found the truth you needed. See you again in the next hidden corner of Flat World.